At first glance, a tire might seem like one of the simplest parts of a car. It's round, black, and made of rubber, quietly doing its job as the vehicle moves down the road. Most drivers rarely think about it unless something goes wrong. But if you look closely, you'll notice that not all tires look the same. Some have deep and aggressive grooves that seem built for mud and rough terrain, while others are smoother and designed for quiet highway driving. These differences aren't random. They exist for very specific reasons related to physics, safety, and the environments cars travel through. Roads themselves vary dramatically, from smooth asphalt highways to gravel paths, muddy trails, and icy winter streets. So this raises an interesting question. Why do cars use different tires for different roads? To answer that, we need to explore how tires interact with different surfaces and why engineers design them in so many different ways. Let's dive in right here on History of Simple Things. A tire's most important job is to create traction between the vehicle and the ground. Without traction, a car cannot accelerate, steer, or stop effectively. The engine might produce power, but it's the tire that actually transfers that power to the road. This happens through friction between the rubber surface and the road beneath it. Engineers design tires to maximize this friction under specific conditions. For example, a tire used on paved highways must maintain stable contact with asphalt at high speeds. Meanwhile, a tire used on dirt or mud must dig into loose surfaces instead of sliding across them. Even small changes in terrain can dramatically affect traction. Loose gravel, wet pavement, snow, and sand all interact differently with rubber surfaces. Because of these variations, one universal tire design simply cannot perform well everywhere. Instead, tire manufacturers develop specialized designs to optimize traction for specific types of roads and environments. One of the most obvious differences between tire types is the tread pattern. The tread refers to the grooves and shapes molded into the surface of the tire. These grooves serve several important functions. On paved roads, tread patterns help channel water away from the tire's contact area, reducing the risk of hydroplaning during rain. On loose surfaces like dirt or sand, the tread pattern allows the tire to dig into the ground and maintain grip. Off-road tires often have large, deep gaps between tread blocks, which helps them bite into mud or gravel. Meanwhile, highway tires use smaller and more closely spaced grooves to maintain a larger contact patch with the road. This design improves stability, reduces noise, and increases fuel efficiency. The arrangement of these grooves is the result of careful engineering and testing. Even subtle differences in tread patterns can change how a vehicle handles braking, cornering, and acceleration. Road surfaces vary widely across the world. Smooth asphalt highways provide a predictable and consistent surface, but other environments are far more complicated. Dirt roads, rocky trails, snow-covered streets, and muddy paths all behave differently under a moving vehicle. A tire designed for asphalt might perform poorly on loose terrain because it cannot dig into the surface. Instead, it may simply spin and slide. Off-road tires solve this problem by using larger tread blocks and deeper grooves that create edges capable of gripping uneven terrain. These edges act almost like claws, allowing the tire to bite into dirt or mud and push the vehicle forward. On the other hand, these same features would be inefficient on highways. They create more rolling resistance and reduce the smooth contact needed for stable driving at high speeds. This is why tire design always reflects the type of surface the vehicle is expected to encounter. The rubber used in tires isn't identical across all designs. Manufacturers adjust the chemical composition of rubber to suit different environments. Softer rubber compounds typically provide better grip because they conform more easily to the surface of the road. This makes them ideal for racing tires or winter tires, where maximum traction is essential. However, softer rubber wears out faster. Harder rubber compounds last longer and are better suited for everyday highway driving. Tire engineers must carefully balance durability with performance. Some tires even include additives such as silica or carbon black to improve grip and resistance to wear. Temperature also plays a major role in rubber performance. In cold conditions, some rubber compounds become stiff and lose traction. Winter tires are designed with special compounds that remain flexible even in freezing temperatures. This ability to tailor the rubber mixture allows manufacturers to create tires that perform well in very specific conditions. Another important difference between tires is the strength of their sidewalls. The sidewall is the outer edge of the tire that connects the tread to the wheel. On smooth highways, tires mainly interact with the road through their tread. However, on rocky or uneven terrain, the sides of the tire can also strike obstacles. Off-road tires often feature reinforced sidewalls designed to resist cuts, punctures, and impacts. This extra strength allows them to survive harsh environments filled with rocks, debris, and sharp edges. Highway tires, by contrast, usually have thinner and more flexible sidewalls. This design helps absorb small bumps and vibrations from the road, making the ride smoother and quieter. However, it also means they are more vulnerable to damage in rough conditions. The difference in sidewall construction highlights how tire designs must adapt not only to road surfaces but also to the kinds of hazards vehicles may encounter. Tires also influence how much fuel a car consumes. When a tire rolls along the ground, it naturally resists motion. This resistance is called rolling resistance. The more resistance a tire creates, the harder the engine must work to move the vehicle forward. Highway tires are carefully designed to reduce rolling resistance as much as possible. They usually feature smoother tread patterns and lighter construction, which allows them to roll more easily. Off-road tires, on the other hand, often create more resistance because of their large tread blocks and heavier structures. While this design improves traction on rough terrain, it also increases fuel consumption. For everyday driving on paved roads, minimizing rolling resistance is important for both fuel economy and environmental impact. This is why many modern passenger vehicles use tires specifically engineered to improve efficiency while still maintaining safe levels of traction. Handling refers to how a car responds when the driver turns the steering wheel or brakes suddenly. Tire design plays a major role in this behavior. On highways, drivers need tires that remain stable at high speeds and provide predictable steering response. Highway tires therefore emphasize consistent contact with the road surface and balanced tread patterns. Off-road environments create different challenges. When driving on uneven terrain, tires must be able to adapt to constantly changing surfaces. Larger tread blocks and flexible construction allow off-road tires to maintain grip even when the ground is irregular. However, these same features can make them less stable at high speeds. This trade-off is why many vehicles designed for off-road adventures use specialized tires that prioritize durability and traction over high-speed performance. Tire engineers must constantly balance stability, grip, and flexibility when designing products for different types of driving. Not all tire differences are about safety or traction. Comfort also plays a significant role in tire design. Tires generate noise as they roll along the road, and certain tread patterns produce more sound than others. Highway tires are designed to minimize this noise by using smaller tread patterns and smoother surfaces. This helps create a quiet and comfortable driving experience. Off-road tires, in contrast, often produce much more noise. Their large tread blocks create vibrations and air movement that generate a noticeable humming or roaring sound on pavement. While this may not matter in rugged environments, it can become uncomfortable during long highway drives. Engineers therefore design tires with specific environments in mind. Drivers who spend most of their time on paved roads usually prioritize quiet operation and comfort, while those who travel off-road focus more on durability and traction. Weather conditions can dramatically change how roads behave. Rain, snow, and ice all reduce traction, making driving more dangerous. To address this problem, manufacturers produce specialized tires designed for specific weather conditions. Winter tires, for example, feature deeper grooves and softer rubber compounds that remain flexible in cold temperatures. These features allow them to grip snow and ice more effectively than standard tires. Some winter tires also include additional small cuts called sipes that improve traction on slippery surfaces. Meanwhile, summer tires are designed for warm conditions and high performance. They typically provide better grip on dry pavement but may become stiff and less effective in cold weather. This seasonal specialization shows how tire design must adapt not only to different road surfaces but also to changing climates throughout the year. Because drivers often encounter multiple types of roads, manufacturers sometimes create compromised designs known as all-terrain tires. These tires attempt to balance the strengths of both highway and off-road tires. Their tread patterns are more aggressive than standard road tires but less extreme than dedicated off-road models. This allows them to handle dirt roads, gravel, and light mud while still remaining reasonably comfortable on pavement. However, this versatility comes with trade-offs. All-terrain tires rarely match the performance of specialized tires in extreme conditions. Dedicated off-road tires will usually perform better in deep mud or rocky terrain, while highway tires offer better fuel efficiency and quieter rides on pavement. Even so, all-terrain tires have become popular because they provide a practical solution for drivers who frequently switch between different types of roads. Before reaching the market, tires undergo extensive testing to ensure safety and performance. Manufacturers evaluate traction, durability, heat resistance, and wear using specialized facilities. Tests take place on controlled tracks that simulate surfaces like wet asphalt, gravel, and mud, as well as in extreme environments such as deserts and snowy regions. Engineers also use computer simulations to study how tread patterns interact with roads at different speeds. By combining real-world testing with digital modeling, manufacturers refine tire designs before releasing them to consumers. Despite advances in technology, no single tire works perfectly in every situation. Tire design always involves trade-offs. Features that improve performance in one environment often reduce it in another. Deep tread patterns provide better traction in mud but create more noise and fuel consumption on highways. Softer rubber offers stronger grip but wears out faster, while reinforced sidewalls protect against rocks but add weight and reduce comfort. Because of these compromises, tire engineers design different tires for different driving conditions. Drivers then choose the tire that best matches where and how they drive. Tires may look simple, but they are carefully engineered parts of a vehicle. Their design affects how safely a car accelerates, turns, and stops in different conditions. Because roads vary from smooth highways to mud, sand, and rocky terrain, manufacturers design tires with different tread patterns, rubber compounds, and structures. Each type is optimized for a specific environment. While all-terrain tires try to balance these needs, no single tire performs perfectly everywhere, showing how important tire design is for safe and efficient driving. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.